everyone, and welcome back to my second channel. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about the behind the scenes of my Instagram photos. I asked you guys a while ago if you'd want to see a video like this, and you said yes. I thought it would be kind of fun / funny to see what actually was going on behind the photos that I post on Instagram, whether some of them were edited, whether some of them were actually just a disaster behind the photo, what actually was going on, because we always see social media and think everybody's life is picture perfect. Behold, nobody's life is picture perfect, and I thought some of these would be kind of funny to show you guys what actually went on. So let's jump into my Instagram feed. So I'm on my phone, so I have my laptop here with my feed. Now, nowadays I usually just kind of post whatever I like. I don't really focus too much on my feed, but back in the day I used to be very specific about my Instagram feed and would plan it to a T. Not anymore, those days are gone. I'm not gonna go over every photo because not every photo has a necessary story behind it, but I'm gonna scroll until I get to one. So this we actually took in Marseille. Thomas and I, we spent a couple extra days after shooting my collection for Oceanna, the label, Postcards from Provence. So we took a couple extra days in the south of France and we were in Marseille, but this beach was absolute chaos to get to, and maybe 20 minutes before this photo was taken, I had a full-blown panic attack on a cliff face in my snorkel that I was wearing. Cue the photo of me in the snorkel. This wasn't even actually a beach, it was just like a bunch of rocks that kind of scattered off, and that's where everyone kind of went swimming. But to climb there, I didn't wear proper shoes. I was literally wearing heels because I didn't know that it was going to be like that. I didn't do my research. So I had to climb down this cliff face in these heels, already stressed out. And then going down into the water, you have to like go onto all these pointy rocks and whatnot. There's no actual like beach and comfortable spot to go into the water, but I'm not a good swimmer at all. So I started to have a full-blown panic attack in my snorkel, not being able to breathe properly. And Thomas is having to calm me down as all these other, tourists and obviously French locals are like, what is going on with her? This photo, I actually love this picture so much. I think it's so cutesy. So this is when Thomas and I went to IndyCar in Toronto, and I'm so grateful that he was able to get us in there. It was so much fun. But this is actually a funny story. So first and foremost, these red headphones that I'm wearing, when we were walking the track before the race, I actually just asked one of the race official people from one of the teams if I could wear their headphones for a photo. And he was like, oh yeah, like no one's been bold enough to ask me that, sure. So he took off his headset and he let me wear the headphones. Funny enough, later on, Thomas's family friend, he was like, I actually just have a pair of headphones that you can wear and listen onto the beginning of the race. So I actually got to listen into the race on a different set of headphones, which is so cool. But yeah, I actually asked someone for a pair of earmuffs just for that picture. And this photo actually is edited. You probably can't tell, but I actually had to color in my shirt on this photo because you could see the outline of my bra, which was way too big for me. Now in that photo, the bra that I was wearing does not fit me. And I always have such a huge struggle finding bras, especially strapless bras that fit me, because a 32A is too big on me. I am very small chested. And so any normal retailers that you go into, they will never have a 30 band size. It usually always starts at 32, and that's very common with so many lingerie stores. Luckily though, Skims has such a wide size range, including a 30A, which fits me perfectly. What I have on now is their strapless bra, which it's completely seamless under my tank top right now. I have it in this beautiful nude shade, which matches perfectly. But do you notice here, there is no gapping. Bra not only fits me, which was unheard of before because no bras usually fit me, especially strapless ones, but fits me well and I feel supported. It's so seamless under my tank tops. The fabric is soft, it's comfortable. It's literally the perfect everyday strapless bra. And if you're someone who does like a bra with straps, but you love the shape of the strapless bra, well, it does come with removable, adjustable straps, of course. I also have here their classic push-up bra in black, which, guys, like, I actually got emotional when wearing this bra, and that might sound a little bit crazy, but when you've never had an intimate fit you properly, or never have been even able to shop for a proper intimate, like, I've never even been able to shop for a proper push-up bra because none of them fit me accurately. I have options for the itty bitty committee. They have 40 cup sizes and sizes from double extra small to 4XL. So there is something for everyone. Also have here their Fits Everybody dipped front thong in black, which matches beautifully with the push-up bra. And the confidence that I have in this set, guys, is beyond. Like, you do not have to wear lingerie for anybody but yourself, and putting on a set like this that fits you properly is just going to give you that confidence boost to take on the day. Not to mention how soft and comfortable these undies are, tuck you in all the right places. Of course, I have my Skims push-up bra on today. I'm about to go pick up Thomas from the airport. We are feeling confident and ready to take on airport traffic. Shop my new favorite bras and underwear from skims.com. And after you place your order, be sure to let them know that I sent you. In the survey, be sure to click YouTube and pick my show in the drop-down menu that follows. Thank you to Skims for creating the most confident boosting lingerie, and in my size, may I add. And thank you so much as well to Skims for sponsoring today's video. Now I'm gonna go pick up Thomas and let's get back into these Instagram pics. Thanks to my new Skims strapless bra, I won't have to edit my photos like that anymore and have to literally white color my tank top so you don't see my very too big for me bra. But I do love that photo. I think it's so adorable, and I think it's also really funny how I just asked some random guy for his earmuffs for the picture. So we have my safari video. This one doesn't really have a funny story behind it, but I was just so proud of how that ASMR safari tour guide video turned out. I'm so proud of it. It was one of my most innovative ASMR ideas to yet, but also well produced. Thomas filmed that on his proper cinematic cameras, and just the quality of that video was so good that people actually thought it was AI. So this photo, well, actually a lot of the photos that are on my Instagram was from this shoot location that I rented when Thomas and I went to Palm Springs. Now, I love doing photo shoots with Thomas. Of course, he's so incredibly talented, but doing photo shoots together is just like a date activity for us. You know, it's like going out to the arcade or something. For us, it's planning out photo shoots and going and taking fun photos. We love it. But with that said, also all couples will get into squabbles and arguments. It is only natural in a relationship. And prior to this shoot, we had gotten in an argument, and you guys would never be able to tell, but like literally 20 minutes before these photos were taken, we were arguing in the parking lot of a grocery store, probably about something silly about set design for this photo shoot. And I was so upset before taking these photos, but they turned out really nice, and you would never be able to tell. And also, they look really good on film, so shout out to Thomas for being the talented photographer. In France, so this is when I shot my ASMR 10 million euro Paris penthouse tour. This photo though, it looks so elegant and soft and natural, but behind the scenes, we were already 10 minutes behind, like when we were supposed to leave. We had only booked it until, let's say 4 p.m. So it was already 4:10, 4:15. We were supposed to leave, but the owners weren't back yet. So we were quickly sprinting around this 10 million euro penthouse, trying to get a few iPhone photos so that I could post them to Instagram and help promote the video. But like, I'm sprinting in my heels, running around this penthouse, trying to get these pics, and then sprint, gently post, sprint, gently post. Not too many of these ones have funny stories or interesting stories behind them. Oh my gosh, this one though, this one Danny took of Thomas and I when we were shooting my collection for my brand Jardin Enchanté, which was 2 years ago, and that's when Thomas and I met. That's probably our third day meeting, and we were on set taking photos, and we went into the nearby teeny tiny town. And Janie and I dressed way up. I don't know why, but we had dressed all up, and then Thomas was there with his photography assistant, and she captured this photo of Thomas and I walking, and I love the photo. I just think he looks so handsome. I think my dress is so beautiful, and it's a good, cute start to our soon-to-be love story. Oh my goodness. Okay, this picture. So Thomas and I, this was again from Mykonos, Greece. I love this dress that I'm wearing, the beautiful turquoise. I had probably 2 of those strawberry daiquiris and ate way too much pasta that I got so sick on the way back to our apartment, walking back to our Airbnb. I threw up everywhere, all on the side of the road. It was awful. It was so embarrassing. I was like almost crawling home. Thomas was trying to carry me. I don't know if I got food poisoning, or I don't know if it was just the heat mixed with the strawberry daiquiris and all the pasta, but I got so violently ill, and then once we got into our Airbnb, I was throwing up all night. It was absolutely brutal. So I can see a few of me here in this gorgeous blue bikini on these white beaches of Greece. Now, I can't remember what the beach was called. Oh, I forget at the time. Did I tag the location? No, I didn't. But it was in Milos. And we had taken these photos, and then right after, because we wanted to get all the pictures that we wanted for Instagram and just for, you know, film photos, whatever, for memories, and then we were gonna swim. So we took our pictures, we took 30 minutes, took our photos. As soon as we get into the water, we're swimming, and I'm like, I think I got stung by a bee. And he's like, you're in the ocean, that can't happen. I'm like, I know, but something really hurts on my butt. And so we get out, and I'm like, Thomas, can you look? Like, something is wrong. And he looks, and he's like, there's nothing there, my love, like, you're fine. And I was like, okay. And then we're sitting down and we're having some fruits and kiwis, and I'm like, no, Thomas, something is seriously wrong. Like, my butt is on fire. He's like, okay, fine, I'll look again. My whole one cheek is swollen up, awful. I wonder if I can insert a photo. I probably have to like blur some of it out because I'm wearing a thong bikini, but it was so incredibly painful, on fire, but I didn't know what had happened. So apparently at this one specific beach in Milos, there's this poisonous plant that basically feels like you got stung by a jellyfish, which I guess is exactly what it had felt like at the time. And so you just have to go and get an antibiotic cream, but I didn't know that. So I immediately started panicking. We're trying to get all our stuff together and climb back up the rocks to go to the pharmacy. I get to the pharmacy and I'm freaking out, and I'm showing her my butt, and she's like, yeah, and? Okay, so like, what's going on? Like, what is it? And she's like, oh, you got stung by the poisonous plant. And she says the name. It's like, oh, okay, so like, what can I do for it? And she's like, oh, you just buy a cream. Okay, can I buy the cream? Because my butt is on fire. But apparently it's a really common issue, and I guess it happens to a lot of tourists, so I don't even know how many people she deals with like that a day. But it sucked because the whole rest of the drive for the few days, whenever we go anywhere, I'd have to like sit on one side because my butt was on fire and it hurt so bad. And for the longest time, for a few months, I had to use anti-scar cream because I had all these purple lines, which literally looked like jellyfish lines if you'd gotten stung by one. But it was from where this fuzzy plant had kind of stung me, and you could see the lines of it on my butt, and it was very painful and awful, and even to the touch, it still hurt months afterwards. It's like it was deeply scarred and bruised. On here we have from last summer with Danny and I, we went out to downtown Toronto, which we never do, and her and I were actually practicing because we were going to be filming our, not audition tape, but our acting reel. Well, it was more so for her. And so we had our lines prepped and we were practicing on this rooftop bar, and it was actually like this big party that was going on. But the scene that we were acting out was us in a fight. And so people actually thought that we were like fighting at this bar. So it was really funny. Some older photos from when Thomas and I went to the Dominican Republic. He was doing a job there, and that was such a cool trip. We were only there for 5 days, but it's funny because these photos, we had half a day left over, and so we went and took some pictures. But these photos, like, we spent no time at the beach relaxing, enjoying the water. I only ran into the water once. We didn't even go swimming at all because we were so busy doing his shoot that he had planned. He was working for a big company and I was helping out, and every night I was up until 3 a.m. doing my stylish job, ironing all these clothes, prepping all the outfits. It was absolutely exhausting, but you don't see any of that behind the scenes. And we were able to get some beautiful photos in the Dominican, but I definitely want to go back because we weren't able to properly enjoy it. So I would love to go back and spend time on the beach, actually tanning. But we have a few different photos from the Dominican here that look like they were well planned and over multiple days, but literally on our last day when we had half a day, I threw a bunch of bikinis in the back of the car and we went to a few locations and we just took a few photos in each spot and then went back and had to pack up the car. And then the next morning, oh my goodness, we woke up and we had to go to the airport and we had a flat tire. And so we were trying to call people to get our tire fixed so that we could get to the airport. We had to drive all the way across the island, and because we were in Las Terrenas, and we were having to deal with a few people. And unfortunately, the first set of people who were trying to help us change our tire, they were going to charge us like a few $1,000s to change our tire. And we're like, no, like, we know you're scamming us. Like that's not okay. Like, no, we're not going to take that. So we were just going to have to rebook our flight. And then luckily the people who were staying, because we were staying at someone's house, the house owners got back and they were able to facilitate with us because I didn't speak any Spanish, neither did Thomas. And they were able to facilitate with us and be able to negotiate a more reasonable price. So luckily we were able to get our tire changed. And then we get to the airport, and when we're going to drop off the car, we didn't have a ticket to pay for our car drop off because apparently we were supposed to get that when leaving the airport or something, because I don't know, it was the company who had gotten the rental car for us and everything. So anyways, we're like running around this rental parking lot trying to find security so we can get through the gate. I'm like crying, running around, dripping sweat. We almost missed our flight. Luckily though, we did get on the flight after a very stressful morning of trying to get our tire changed, driving 3 hours across the island on this tire it was the spare tire, which you can't drive very fast on, and then dealing with the rental car drop off. But we were able to get our flight home. Here, this is from when Thomas and I were in Naples, and this was actually the first time he ever said he loved me, which is so sweet, my heart. But this photo here was in this beautiful, the Royal Palace of Naples, and I had really wanted to go there, but Thomas and I didn't get tickets, and we also didn't think we were staying anywhere near it. And so what happened was we had gone to breakfast way far away, and we get to the breakfast location, it's closed down. It doesn't exist anymore. So then when we had Ubered back, we didn't realize, but the Uber that we took, it had kind of gone by the Royal Palace of Naples. And so where we got off to go to the new breakfast place was actually right by here. And so we were walking around and we hadn't really planned anything for the day. We were just going to walk around and enjoy it. It was kind of our first trip together. And so we stumbled across this Royal Palace and we were like, wow, it's so beautiful. I can't believe we just ended up here. This is where I wanted to go. But we didn't have tickets to go inside. And so we're just kind of taking photos from the outside, and then the one security guard is like, do you guys want to go in for a few minutes? I'll let you go in and take photos because there's no one here. And we're like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, yes. And I was able to get this photo in this palace, nobody else there. Like, how beautiful is that picture with all of the details and architecture? So stunning. I can't believe that we were able to get these photos and that the security guard was so sweet to let us in and grab pictures. It was so nice. We have this photo of Danny and I here. This was after we just wrapped shooting in France, the collection Jardin Enchanté. And you can't see in this photo, but I had actually tried to climb over a fence and cut my foot open on barbed wire. And so it was bleeding everywhere, all over into the mud. And Thomas had to piggyback me back to the castle because my foot was ripped open and bleeding. Luckily, I didn't need any stitches, but it was quite bad. And you wouldn't be able to tell because Danny and I look so angelic. On this photo here, I made my dad walk an hour all the way back to this yellow house because I remember earlier in the day we had walked past this yellow house and I thought it would be very cute for an Instagram photo, but at the time I was too nervous to say anything because I didn't want to stop and be like, can we take a picture? So instead, at the end of the day, I asked if we could walk all the way back there, and I thought it was only 20 minutes, but it turned out to be almost an hour walk back to this house. But the photos of me twirling in the dress were very cute. This here was my graduation pictures. I actually had not gotten graduation photos for university because you had to sign up for them at the beginning of the semester, and I didn't know that, so I never got proper graduation photos for university. But little do you know, on my university graduation day, I almost didn't walk across the stage. I had a panic attack and I had to go behind the curtains. My mom had to come and comfort me, but I was sobbing and I just was like, I don't feel like I deserve to graduate. Like, I'm standing around and I don't have any friends in my program. Like, I was just like, I feel like I'm standing here like a loner. I don't have any corporate experience. I didn't do any internships. I didn't get on any, business clubs. Like, I didn't make the most of my time at university. I have no friends in my program. Like, I just shouldn't be walking across the stage. I don't deserve this. And I was sobbing. And so my mom was trying to comfort me. But afterwards, I ended up walking the stage. I got my diploma, luckily. And I got some cutesy photos afterwards when we went out to dinner. But you would never be able to tell that behind these photos, I had just had a mental breakdown and almost didn't walk across my university stage. Sometimes you just really can't judge a photo by its cover because you never know what's going on behind the scenes. And that's why I think it's so important to remember that social media, like, you literally don't know. You're seeing the best aspects of someone's life. You're seeing their picture perfect life. And so you have to take that with a grain of salt. These photos in Switzerland, Switzerland was so beautiful. It was my graduation trip and they're like, I really want to go back to Switzerland, but I'm so grateful and thankful to my dad for taking me on that trip. And I've never seen like the nature, like I've never seen anything quite like it. A lot of it though, like was similar to, I guess you could say, like the Rockies or BC, but I haven't done proper hiking like that through the Rockies. So like Switzerland is just out of this world, nature, beautiful. This one here though, I got very, very sick while we were in Switzerland, and here we had hiked later on that day and I actually had to take a nap on a rock because I was so ill and I couldn't finish the 12-kilometer hike down the mountain. So we had to take breaks and I took little naps down this mountain as I was so sick. This one here in Switzerland, this was in Lucerne, and these pink cobblestones were not pink, obviously. I edited those. I even wrote in my caption, you may be thinking there's no way there's pink cobblestone in Lucerne, and you would be correct. I did edit that on, I think it was Facetune or something, because I didn't know how to use Photoshop at the time. So many of these Switzerland photos were just so gorgeous. This one here was when we had just landed and our luggage was lost. So we didn't have our luggage for 2 days, but there's me there smiling and happy because who needs luggage when you just landed in Switzerland? Okay, and then we're going into my bright era where, do you remember I was saying how a photo had to have a certain amount of colors for me to post it? That was this era. I was so specific about how my feed looked and how colorful it was. Everything was oversaturated. I mean, I do think I did really good with the aesthetic here. There was, though, very much specific criteria that had to be met. This photo here of me showing all these delicious vegan healthy foods I had was actually at the hotel after I had been stranded in Winnipeg for 3 days on snowstorm watch because I was trying to get out to Vancouver Island to visit my dad for Christmas, and there was a big snowstorm and I got stuck in Winnipeg and they couldn't get me on another flight. So I was basically just stuck in Winnipeg, and every day I'd have to wake up at 3 a.m., Uber to the airport, try and be on standby for any of the flights out to Vancouver. And then once I wouldn't be able to get on any of the flights, I'd have to go home at the end of the night at like 11 p.m. and then do it again the next day. So I had to do that for 2 days. And then finally I went to a flight attendant sobbing, being like, please, like I am not on another flight. Can you please get me on a flight to Vancouver? And she was like, yes, you should be rescheduled for one. And I'm like, no, like I've just been on standby. I don't have a new ticket. Like, please help me. And I'm sobbing. And I didn't have any of my luggage because my luggage, I want to say it had made it to Vancouver or something. Like I didn't have my luggage at the time, so I was dirty. Mind you, I was showering, but I was wearing the same clothes every day at the hotel. So I was dirty, I was stressed, I was tired. And she was like, wait, like you didn't get rebooked on another ticket at all? And I was like, no. So then she was able to rebook me the next day and I was able to get on a flight. And so that evening I went to Shoppers and I put together some little goodie baskets for her and the other flight attendant that had helped me, who were so kind to me. And this was amidst my mental breakdown. I had Ubered to some vegan restaurant and ate a bunch of delicious vegan food. Oh, this one here, this was at a university party. My old friend and I had went, we took photos, and then we left. We didn't stay and partied. We went and we were like, well, this isn't really a vibe. We don't feel like partying anymore. Let's just take cute pics since we showed up here. So we took cute pics in their university house and then we left right after. This back here was when I had my pink hair. And this is also when I had started kind of doing YouTube. And actually when I had my pink hair, this is when I was getting so badly bullied at school that I had actually taken a few days and gone to different schools to see if I should transfer, and I was testing out other schools to see how they would be. I didn't end up switching because they didn't have as good of programs at the other schools, like especially for math and whatnot. But it's funny because these photos, like you can't tell me when I was doing these photo shoots for my pink hair and like, you know, a smile on my face, but I was I was struggling with depression. I was so sad and I was getting, you know, very heavily bullied, and it was a very tough time for me. But the pink hair was a moment, I will say that. My voice is completely shot. I'm still getting over a cold, so I'm going to make a hot tea and let my voice rest. But this is a kind of a really fun video idea, and if any of you guys do YouTube as well, I'd really recommend doing this. I think it's so fun, and also just opening up the curtain to what, you know, it's really like behind these picture perfect photos that we post on Instagram. Once again, be sure to shop my new favorite bras and undies from Skims. I'll have the link in the description box below for you guys. But I love you all so much. Leave any video requests you have in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.